again. Welcome to day 5 of Coding with Drew. In this section, we're going to do a deep dive into CSS. In our previous section, we have built a divs.html, which should look something like this with your finished product, where you've answered your 5 questions. Who are you? What do you do? Who do you do it for? How does the person that you do it for benefit? And what are you passionate about? It should look very similar to this. We're not going to really spend any more time making it look better at this point. This portion of our project will play later into our portfolio website. So I want you to save it and not do anything else with it for now. And let's go ahead and create a new file in here, and we're going to call it boxes.html. And let's also add a new CSS file and call it boxes.css. All right, in boxes.html, let's do HTML, select HTML5, and in the head, let's link our CSS file. And I'm going to do this wrong the first time, so don't follow exactly, just pay attention. So I'm going to do a link, and I'm going to say //css/boxes.css. And now in boxes CSS, I'm going to do something to make sure that I know that the CSS has linked to my HTML document. I'm going to give it a background color and say blue violet. I'm going to save. Now, if I look at this file in my preview, I'll see that it's still white, but I connected my CSS to it. Why isn't it working? Let's look at how we've referenced it. So boxes.html is on the same level as our CSS directory. So it's not up a directory into dev level and looking for a CSS directory. The CSS directory lives on the same level. So if I remove a dot, it's saying the same. This is the same directory. You can see that it turned purple. Dot means up one directory. Dot means this directory. Okay, so we now know that our CSS is connected to our HTML document. We can keep this in here, no big deal. Let's go ahead and create 3 divs, and inside of those, we're going to have an H1, 1, 2, 3 respectively. So let's go ahead and do that. So div.container tab, return, div.row, return, div.box. Now box doesn't exist yet. Neither does row or container. We're going to create these. And we're going to give this 1. Let's just leave it a 1. All right, div.box, return. I'll make this a 2. Div.box, and give this a 3. Okay, so we now have 3 elements here. Let's see some boundaries for these various elements. So inside of here, we're going to say border. Now there's 2 different ways to do border. I want to show you the first way, which is more in detail. Border width, we specify it's going to be 1 pixel. Border color, we'll specify that it's supposed to be, and then border style. And we're going to say that this is supposed to be, let's do dashed. And now if we come back over to our HTML document, make any changes to it and save, you can see that you now have border around every element inside of your HTML document. This is just for visualization, so you can see where the boundaries of the various elements exist. So we gave these a class of box. So let's create that class now. So if I say box, and then inside of the box, I declare properties of width and height. So let's do that. Width. And this is a good opportunity for me to refer to another document. So in this gist, I looked up CSS units best practices, and you'll see that there is recommended usage of pretty much only EM, rem, and percentage. Occasionally use pixel. You'll never use most of these. You might use VW, and I'll show you a use case for it in a moment. And then I don't recommend ever using centimeters, millimeters, inches, or any of these other points or pico. We might use pixel, and that's okay. We'll talk about those in a minute. But these are your units. And these are relative units that are always relative either to the screen or to the parent element that they're living within. EM and REM or REM are relative to the font size. And I'll show you that as well. So really, we're not going to ever use any of these. We will use pixels, which are the width of a single dot of your screen. If you look all the way super close, it's a grid pattern of lights, red, blue, and green that make your screen bright. All right. So with this, we're going to say these are 100 pixels wide, and we're going to say it's got a height of 100 pixels. And we're going to give it a background color of white. All right. Now let's update our HTML so that it displays on the right. It didn't display. I wonder why. Oh, I think I know why. So these are classes, right? In our CSS, we've only specified box, but we haven't really let CSS know that this is supposed to be a class. So it's looking for an element called box, and there's no HTML element called box. So the way you call that box is with a dot box. And this dot specifies class. So we're selecting a class called box. And so if we save, we can now see that there's 3 boxes that are 100 pixels by 100 pixels wide. Now, what if I wanted these to be in a different order than what they are? And by order, like I wanted them to be horizontal instead of vertical. We're going to learn a little bit more about how we can position elements and their content. I'll see you in the next section.